we're here with these beautiful men here to dissect and pick our top favorite 50 movies of all time. We are part of the Real Frame of Mind and our sister projects, Special Features. So we're gonna jump into Blake to start us off with this venture. Real quick, this is gonna be a 5-part episode, so you don't have to sit through all 50 of each of ours tonight on this episode. So we're gonna dissect our first 10. So 50 to 41. And yeah, we're going to discuss. We're going to do some fun stuff afterwards with that too. So Blake, you want to kick us off with your first 5 in your bottom 10? It might be confusing, but
so we'll start off with 50, and I'll rattle these off in a clear, concise order here.
Okay.
All right. Number 50, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Number 49, Up in the Air. Number 48, Iron Giant. Number 47, $1 Million Baby. Number 46, Blood Diamond. That is my first 5.
I am so turned on right now.
I like it.
What?
I like it.
Any sleepers?
Why that specific Harry Potter movie of the whole franchise?
Well, being that I'm a diehard Potter fan and I love them all, but we're all doing pure lists, right? We don't have trilogies as a single.
Now
movie.
that's that's not just that's a side note. That's a side note. That's
some of us did pure lists.
Okay, some people did pure lists. There's some I know. I know I have one on my list, and I know
I
you
have
have a couple
4 or 5
that are combined. So
some
it's
are
because
mudbloods. Let's just leave it like that.
the essence of this is to get everybody's purest list. So
Wait.
I mean, it differs from person to person. So I
Quick
think
thing,
it's fair to.
who's a pure blood here?
This
No.
guy,
Oh.
Slytherin house.
Whatever.
Pure blood?
Nope.
Yes,
No.
David, yes.
Yeah, that's we outnumber you guys now.
Filthy mud blood.
I'm a
Mud
little mixed. So what's the mix of a pure blood and a mud blood? Because I have some where my trilogies are split. And
You
then I
are
have some
rooting the entire.
See, I do the
where
same
my
thing.
trilogies are together.
See, I have the same. I just think
Yes.
I think it depends on the movie. But anyways,
Alright, so specifically that one, we get
Do I
our
really
introduction to Gary
Terminator
Oldman,
Utah 3.
and I think it's the first movie. A new director took over after the first two.
it was
No.
Christopher Columbus first, and then I don't remember who.
Yeah.
The first two
Did you call him
Director.
Christopher Columbus?
Chris Columbus.
He
Sorry.
discovered America in
Let's just
1492.
Technically,
But-
assuming that his name
It is
is probably
Christopher
short for
Columbus.
Christopher.
The third one's their introduction to the darker, edgier Potter. The first two felt cartoonish, I think, and I think represent well the ages that the kids are at, which is very young adolescence. The third one is sort of like the edgier, like I'll lock myself in my room, like get away, mom. I'll make dinner when I want it. So that's why I like the
Teenage
third
emo
one.
years.
Yeah, exactly. Harry's hair gets a little longer. Movie gets a little better, in my opinion. So yeah.
What you want to just go through and kind of explain a little bit why?
Sure. Okay, so Up in the Air. It really hit me hard when I watched it the first time. If you haven't seen it, are we doing spoiler alerts?
Yeah, everything is
Yeah,
spoiler. Obviously, spoiler.
Okay.
We're doing spoiler.
Especially
Okay.
for a movie that's been out for years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's fine to do spoiler alerts.
So-
We'll put a disclaimer.
The whole movie is like sort of this back and forth romance between George Clooney and is it Vera?
Vera Farmiga.
Yes, she's really attractive. But on a second note, so it's a back and forth romance, and then at the end, George Clooney, who's very conservative, just goes for it, and then she's married and has kids, and it's a very thudding like ending to movie, and it just stuck with me, and I've always liked that movie.
No, I can't watch it.
There's one scene in that movie that I absolutely love, where Anna Kendrick just gets shut down,
Yeah.
and she's in a room with a bunch of empty chairs, and they're all kind of pushed away from her, and she's just in this lone room, just a bunch of
Middle of the
people.
room.
I love that scene.
Number 48, it would be Iron Giant. I think anybody that was a kid once, which most humans were kids.
I was not. I
Okay.
was born in my 20s.
Iron Giant, super underrated animated film. Done very well. Looks nice.
First time too, definitely.
Yeah. Vin Diesel was in it, which is another plus.
But almost unrecognizable
Yeah,
because
'cause
it
he's
was
a
before
robot.
before he got big.
Well, no, that's why he would be recognizable.
Whoa.
Oh!
And then number 47, $1 Million Baby. I'm a huge Clint Eastwood fan, and it's got all the parts of Eastwood that are awesome. Spoiler alert, I don't like Hilary Swank, but
What?
good
I'm not a
things
big
I
happen.
am shocked.
If you're not a fan of Hilary Swank, you'll love the ending.
She has a perfect role. If you don't like her, she plays a perfect role in Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah,
She,
does.
she did do pretty good.
I
in
love
that
when
movie,
she
though.
doesn't make it to the alive parts. That's the best part.
Alright.
All right, the last number 46, Blood Diamond, really good movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, bro.
Does a really good, does a really good Southern African accent. It's great, and the whole movie is just like edge of your seat action.
I
Good
forget.
stuff.
I forget what he was nominated that same. He was nominated for 2 movies that same
He was
year.
nominated for The Departed and Blood
Yeah,
Diamond.
and I think
he
his
lost for both.
Yeah, his performance. I think his performance in Blood Diamond was overshadowed by everybody talking him up in Departed.
Well, I don't even know if he was nominated for Best Actor for The Departed.
He was.
Because
It was Best Actor, and he was supporting, I think, for
Probably.
Blood Diamond, even though he was
Yeah.
most.
I
of
know
the
he.
movie.
I think Jimon Hinsu won
Digimon
for that
Hinsu.
year.
Yeah, he did win, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. But still, no,
So-
I agree. That's a
But
good.
then that movie won for Best Picture and I think Best Director. I think
I
it was
don't know if it won.
Scorsese's first Best Director.
Yeah, it was. Yep, definitely.
No, if that was the same year as Departed beat that movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
no,
beat-
The Departed. I'm saying The Departed.
Departed
won
one
for
for
Best Picture.
Scorsese.
yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
for Scorsese.
definitely.
All
That
right.
was it.
So, internet search. Hilary Swank has won 2 Oscars for Boys Don't Cry and $1 Million Baby.
I think the critics agree. She's
Yeah.
better off not being alive. But we can move on. I don't know who is second. in
I
the
think
top
that's
five.
me. I'll go.
Or top bottom five.
Get my notes out here. All right. I'll start us off. My 50 would be John Hughes' The Breakfast Club. It's actually the only John Hughes movie I have on my list, but I think I'm gonna do a little different. I'm gonna go on through mine first. I think this movie, especially growing up watching this countless times, it definitely displays Hughes' perfect execution of teenage angst and just kids growing up in general, their teenage years and stuff like that. A perfect blend of comedy and drama. That I mean, and the characters that he let. I mean, he wrote these characters and let the actors kind of just run with them near the end of the movie. And I think you really feel them develop throughout that little Saturday that they spend in detention. So,
Do you think that when Monday came, they all just went back to normal? Or do you think they changed?
And they
they're
probably all
they're
killed themselves.
teenagers, you know. Like,
What do you think?
to be honest, I think maybe out of all the characters, Bender probably would have changed the most.
I feel like he would change the least.
Really?
He's got
He
that.
changed the least.
He's got that
Really?
image to hold. I think
But
maybe the wrestler might have changed.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
I think Anthony Michael Hall's character probably changed a little bit.
But he was
Well,
always
he was always
he was
the one
always
that was-
open to everybody.
He was the one that was himself the whole time. He wasn't
Yeah.
he wasn't wearing a mask.
But now he has.
Whereas all these other characters were. But I don't think Bender wouldn't have changed as much as the rest of them, because I mean, think about it. He was the outcast character in the movie that had nobody. That's why he was the way he was, because that's why he was a jerk and he reacted to adults mainly, or I mean his peers in general, the way he did, because he didn't have anybody. And I mean, he didn't have him in his life, and now he has. Well, but I guarantee you, you know what? He probably now thinking about it, he probably never actually got to stay with her, and then went back to his old ways. So you're right. Yeah.
I think if
probably
there's
said-
anyone who wouldn't have changed, it would have been what's
the
redhead's
the
name?
Claire.
Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like she would have just wanted.
Well, yeah, she was honest with how she. I mean,
Yeah,
she was honest. She was honest in kind of a dickish way to, I'm not gonna. I don't want to be seen with you and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a good topic. Okay, so 49. It's going to be Duncan Jones's Moon. The 09 Moon. That movie, I just rewatched it last night. I don't know if everybody's seen that one, but I'm a big stickler for space and exploration movies, adventure movies, and stuff like that. And this one really sticks out for me because it's very, I mean, it takes place on the moon, but it's super isolated for a movie in general. And it touches on subjects like identity, and I think an underwhelming subject on this movie is love, even though there's 2 characters that you see the whole movie like physically there, and one of them is a robot. So like and especially identity, because I don't want to spoil. It doesn't seem like everybody has seen this movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well then, yeah, you guys know the identity part. Obviously, he's a clone.
What?
He doesn't know, and he didn't know that. So, I just think, especially rewatching, because I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to make my list or not. Rewatching it recently, and those themes resonate with me, and why I like. I mean, the identity theme alone is a theme I like in movies, obviously, because you'll see a couple more of these come up here. But
This is the movie Identity.
fortunately, didn't make the list.
Darn. I just bought Moon. It's on our Special Features 3, so you can see my opinion on it.
Hey,
And-
boy.
Nice plugs.
Plug!
Okay, 47. It is my only Tim Burton film. Can you guys guess? I know Taylor knows.
Ed Scissorhands.
No?
If it's Willy Wonka, I will kill you.
Do I have to leave? Is
Yeah.
that? Oh no, I'm just kidding. It's not Willy
Or
Wonka.
Charlie.
All right, it's
Whatever.
actually one of the only movies
Ed
besides.
Wood.
Huh?
Ed Wood.
No, I actually have never seen Ed Wood.
Batman.
Big Fish.
Okay.
I know it's not known. It's not one of the movies that he's most known for, obviously,
It's
because
like
it's
the
not.
least.
It's got the least Tim Burton-esque
Yeah.
feel to it. Next to Big Eyes, I haven't seen that one yet, but it didn't look like it didn't
didn't.
feel like a Tim Burton movie. But still, nonetheless, the story of this movie and watching this guy tell his stories, how he wanted them to be perceived, and seeing them come to light. It's one of those movies that you don't expect to feel certain emotions, especially near the end, because it's like, yeah, sure, he's the character is dying and letting go and finally coming to terms. His son is finally coming to terms with how he is as a person. But I don't know what it is about this movie, but every time I watch it, it gets me. I'll say it as I'll say
Cry?
it. Yeah, dude. I don't know why. I'm admitting it. I'm mad about it, but it gets
He's
me.
a
It's
man.
just-
He's 40.
Give him a hug. He needs a hug right now.
yeah, can I have a?
I
no.
cried.
Thanks to make this awkward.
I didn't. We're on a couch. I
Yeah.
don't usually hug on couches.
No.
I'm
And as my
standing.
first couch hug, I'm gonna say, let's not do that again, maybe.
I'm just really happy no legs are touching me.
That's true. And then my last.
No,
All right, I'll jump onto my last one, and this is the movie I said before we started filming to these guys is that you guys probably don't have, none of you probably have this movie on your list. It is a movie by a man named James Marcindio. I couldn't even pronounce it. Marcindio. SLC Punk. I don't know if you guys have
nice.
seen the movie, but especially it essentially in a nutshell, it takes place Salt Lake City, obviously, and it takes place in a subgenre about punks and these rebellious kids that take on this subculture, and the movie, especially being kind of roughly associated with that culture myself in our area, obviously not nowhere near how this movie depicts it, but I think that the director nailed it in certain aspects where movies like, especially in like drug related themes and stuff like that, and rebellious themes, like movies that I'm not too crazy about, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Trainspotting. They tried doing those too, but I think this movie has these characters that are more believable and more relatable for me, that especially compared to Trainspotting. I don't know if you guys seen that movie. I like Danny Boyle, but that movie just made me mad. I didn't care for any of the characters or anything. And this movie has seen.
They're all scumbags.
Yeah, they're all scumbags. I mean, and you just hate them all. Like,
Well,
you just have this disdain for them all.
Well, the only thing I think with SLC Punk that's a little bit kind of out there is the fact, isn't the kid like a brainiac or something like that?
He's super smart.
and he
Yeah,
can go
could
to,
have
like,
he could have gotten
any
to
school
Harvard.
in the world, and
Yeah.
now he chose to have a big blue mohawk, and it's like that's the only part where it's like okay.
Well, and then that refers back to the identity crisis thing that seems to be a theme with my movies that I like. It's just that, I mean, obviously that's not the person he wanted to be. Obviously, it turns him around at the end because of the loss of his friend. But I mean, I think that it immerses you in this subculture that most people aren't familiar with, and the filmmaker, the way the style of the film. I mean, he used very frantic shots. All of his shots were intended to be living this lifestyle, to portray this lifestyle like they were. So that's why that made my list. And I think it's an underrated performance from Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
He's one of those actors that people, that guy was in Scooby-Doo, that guy sucked.
Scream.
But
It's fantastic.
Scream.
Scooby-Doo,
yeah,
by the
well,
way.
you see, and huh?
Now you're gonna die.
Fantastic Scooby-Doo.
Those are the rules.
Yeah. Nobody says I'll be right back. I'll be
Dear
right
God,
back.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so DZ.
Okay, so my 50, my number 50.
Woo!
I'm gonna go.
This is the list I'm excited for.
Citizen Kane.
Oh god.
No,
It's the AFI
Oh,
collection all the way.
all right.
He's scratching it out.
It's on a list.
I did scratch 2 out when I got here, but number 50. I'm gonna go with Gangs of New York by Martin Scorsese. And number 49 would be Iron Giant. So
Hey,
wow,
same spot
very
even.
close.
Wow.
No, I think I was.
This is 48.
Oh,
that's pretty dumb.
Very close.
48 is Shaun of the Dead.
That's a good one.
47 is Superbad. And 46 is The Social Network. I guess I'll explain now.
Cool.
Number 50 for Gangs in New York. One of the first Scorsese films I ever watched. One kind of the movie that made me like Leonardo DiCaprio. He did a fantastic job in it, playing the revenge role, I guess, because Daniel Day-Lewis.
You're putting him to sleep already, dude.
Sorry, Daniel Day-Lewis killed his dad, and he tries to get revenge, and then there's Cameron Diaz is in it too, who's forgettable. 40.
She's forgettable and everything, right?
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
about Mary, maybe not, but
The Mask.
Still.
The Mask.
that was her debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
think
Yeah,
the
it
Alright, I gotta shut my mouth.
49 Iron Giant. I pretty much second everything Blake said. I didn't like the movie the first couple times I watched it, but it grew on me. Underrated, definitely. It's funnier than I ever remember it being after watching it at Walmart like 12 times. Because I put it on one of the TVs there, and it was just I laughed hysterically at some of the parts.
I was watching. I'm a frequent watcher of top 10 Joe Blow or Watch Mojo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe Blow's a different thing. Watch Mojo things, especially recently, and they were talking about how this movie was portrayed as this family-friendly movie. I mean,
It's
it really isn't.
not.
It really isn't, and
And
that's
nuclear warhead at a city.
yeah, exactly. Because it was like one of those movies that lost money. It was a bomb.
Yeah.
Financially originally, and then it gained cult following. Like
Yeah.
people like us loved it afterwards
Great
because
movie.
of the storytelling. I mean, it wasn't typical to a movie like at its time, like especially animated films, American animated films. You know what I mean?
I really liked Harry Connick Jr.'s character in it. Probably some of the funniest lines in the entire movie come from that character. So
Screws in my pants, Hogarth.
Hogarth.
48 was Shaun of the Dead.
Edgar Wright.
Yep, and you're
Yeah.
right. I'd never heard of anyone in that movie before that, and now they're, all huge, especially Edgar Wright and
Simon
Pegg. Nick Frost still does smaller parts, but he's
He's been doing some good stuff.
he's a
some
pretty
good movies.
fantastic actor, and most of what he does, he is super funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, that just kind of brought in those people for me, and now I own all of those movies, most of Edgar Wright's movies. 47 would be Superbad. My second favorite Judd Apatow movie, maybe third because Trainwreck came out, but I'd have to watch it a couple more times. I've only seen it the once in theaters. Michael Cera, fantastic. And there's a thing with Judd Apatow movies where his minor characters are like so much better than his main characters. Like Michael Cera and Jonah Hill did fantastic. They were super funny.
But you remember
You
McLovin.
remember McLovin.
Yeah, for
and then
sure.
Seth Rogen and Bill Hader as the cops
the
too.
cops.
Super funny.
It was a launching
You
pad for a lot of
quote
people.
that movie
It really
like-
was, for sure.
At any point in time, you can quote that movie. I mean, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
And then The Social Network. I didn't want to see that movie when it came out, and then I watched it and I was just in love. Jesse Eisenberg is always really great as a douchebag.
Yes.
I think it's just him. Andrew Garfield was pretty fantastic in there. He played a helpless character. He didn't really do a whole lot. The Winklevoss, whatever his
Winklevoss.
name is. Armie Hammer, who's Taylor wants to give like unprotected sex with.
Oh my god.
Really? Like Army Hammer? You like Army Hammer that much?
I like Army Hammer, but not to what he says I do. Like
That's a call.
I think it's the funniest part of the thing that they're twins is that there's another actor that's playing the other guy, but they're just like, we like his face better. We're just gonna put it on YouTube, and that's it.
It was just a great story.
This is one of these movies that I'm trying to get my dad to watch this movie for the last 3 years. Pretty close to when it came out. It was like 2010, I think. So 5 years.
Something like that.
He won't do it. I'm not watching some movie about Facebook.
It was one of those things that when it was coming out, it was like, oh, the Facebook movie. Who wants to watch that? And it performed remarkably well.
It has to be. It's David Fincher's.
Oh God, fantastic.
I mean, he's seriously really one of my favorite modern directors nowadays.
Who wrote it? Shit.
Was it Aaron Sorkin?
Yes,
Yeah.
Sorkin. He's one of my.
He's good at movies that are like that. He's
his TV shows are great too. West Wing, the
Newsroom.
Newsroom.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't watched it.
Was that the?
Oh, they're absolutely amazing. That's my top. That's my 5.
That's the bottom 5.
I could only make one comment about your list, Damon, and your list could also be made by like a girl about 15 years old who likes all those things.
Look at him swinging.
I feel like a girl would not like Gangs of New York.
Okay, mine is
Kaylin loves that movie.
Shaun of the Dead too.
Okay, maybe.
No, see, I feel like a girl can like Shaun of the Dead. That's fine.
No, your movie. I
I'd
think
be a really nerdy girl.
you have It's surprising how many in your first 5, how many movies you have that are almost generation. I don't know. Is there a word?
Generation.
Like how Breakfast Club was to my parent, because my parent had me when
I
I was young.
understand that. That's.
They're like super bad. Like
That's
nobody our age doesn't know what super bad is. It's
For
just
sure.
one of those movies. I think you missed Napoleon Dynamite. Maybe that'll come up later.
I never watched that movie.
Oh my god!
It was like so quoted that before I ever like wanted to watch it, and I was just like I can't stand it. Like people were like, and then people were saying that I sounded like him, and I was just like, nope. All right, get away from me.
All
I'm
right,
never watching that movie.
Taylor, you're up.
Woo! Time for the party.
Have some good stuff with this one.
Let your hair out, dude. Let it
like
flow. No, don't.
No,
Oh
that's
god.
I'll do
We
it.
should have
I gotta
last
take my pants off now.
Yeah.
I'll do it. It's cool.
Grab a
Alright,
super. Go get 'em.
Majestic Falcon.
So, I'll do a little explanation on my movies as I go. And I probably so far have the most different list of everybody here.
Oh yeah.
Because my number 50 is Black Dynamite.
Sweet.
Which I love. It's a terrible, like, awesome parody of blaxploitation movies. And Michael Jai White does an amazing job in there. And just the one scene in there that makes me love the movie is they're on the board, like, trying to figure out the Anaconda malt liquor and, like, what it means. And it's just going random spot to random spot. And like, what do M&Ms do? They melt in your mouth. And it's just random all the way till the end of it. And, like, it just makes me laugh every time I watch it. There's no part that doesn't make me laugh in it. And the boomerang, which is probably the best quote of that entire movie, which is, I threw that shit before I came in the room. Like, it's so great. The whole thing is just hilarious. I love every minute of it. So that's my number 50. 49, I'm going to go with one that's probably higher up, I guess, on a lot of people's list, would be the Matrix. Great sci-fi movie. The action scenes are excellent throughout it. Just the first one, though, the other ones are great.
Save the highway scene for number 2.
Yeah. Aside from the highway scene in number 2, the end scene between Mr. Smith and Keanu Reeves, like, final fight is so well done. Just in the way they do it, everything along those lines is just very good overall. My number 48, most people probably haven't heard of. It's Repo the Genetic Opera, which actually came out just a little while before the movie that a lot of people would know as Repo Man. Very similar premise. The Genetic Opera is, if you couldn't tell, it's a musical with what you would know Anthony Stewart Head, Giles from Buffy
Yep.
as the main character, essentially this repo man that goes around and repossesses organs. I don't know, it's just really enjoyable. I love the premise of it. And Rob Zombie dude in there, Bill Moseley, who's from like Devil's Rejects, and that is in there. He does a good job. Everybody's very good throughout it. So
Isn't there a Hilton sister in there too?
there's a Paris Hilton in there. She doesn't actually do bad for what she needs to do with it, so I was actually slightly impressed with Paris Hilton in there.
Better than House of
Surprisingly.
Wax?
Way
She died pretty good in that movie, though.
Yeah,
She
she
did
had
that.
awesome
She
death in
portrayed
House
that
of Wax.
death perfectly. I
She
mean,
portrayed a good death in there, but she did a better job in Repo the Genetic Opera.
I haven't seen that one yet. You told me about it.
I really enjoy it. My number 47 would be 10-Inch Hero, which
Yes,
I know
I have
you
seen
said
it.
you've seen it. I really enjoyed it. It's just kind of a nice little kind of drama with some comedic elements thrown in. I think probably my favorite part of it is Priestley, which is Jensen Ackles from Supernatural, but he's in there as like this worker who's got his hair like green and it's always changing, different shirts, and he's kind of a fun-loving guy. But it's very well done. The story I really enjoyed. The acting throughout it, through the drama, comedy, everything like that. It was a really good mix of everything. And then my number 46 is The Polar Express. For that one, for me, it's more of an emotional tie to it. I do like the CGI in it, and the voice work from Tom Hanks is really good because he plays like 6 different people in that movie. But it's more of my emotional connection to Polar Express, which is why it's on my top 50, because it hit me. It's something like with my family that we kind of watch together, and it's just something that kind of brings us together. So that would be my 50 through 46.
Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty confident most people didn't. I mean, I've seen
It's
3. Black Dynamite and Big
Well,
10
Matrix.
Matrix, yeah. obviously.
10-Inch Hero.
That's it. Yeah.
You've ever watched Polar Express?
No, I've never seen the whole movie. No.
Huh.
Obviously, I've seen
It's a
bits and
Zemeckis
pieces.
movie, man.
Yeah, I knew it was a Zemeckis movie.
a bit off.
Dropping the ball.
Knew
here.
it was a Zemeckis movie. Don't taunt.
Tom Hanks is in it. That's
Good enough.
And he looks exactly like Tom Hanks. The character is Tom
he
Hanks.
sounds like him too.
Does he?
Yeah.
No way.
That's insane. How did they do that?
Was it Tom Hanks though?
I don't know. That might be up in the air, dude.
No!
That's your movie. All right, Mimi, you're up.
Okay, mine comes with a little warning.
What?
I wrote it because I was.
You wrote an actual warning.
It's just a little. It's a little prologue, basically going through what I felt doing this. All right. So
Okay.
here it goes.
Here we go.
This was an impossible feat. Choosing 50 films out of every film that's ever been created is tough, but I chose to include in my top 50 only the films that I own. Okay. I believe that the films on this list can interchange with films that aren't on the list, so I'm going off of what I created last week. Okay. Could be different today, but I'll go with what I put down last week. Okay, you ready? 50. The Patriot.
That's a good pick.
The way this film encapsulated the Revolutionary War period was phenomenal. Roland Emmerich gets great performances from Mel Gibson, Heath Ledger, and company, and nominated for 3 Oscars, which I don't think any of us could disagree with, would be Best Cinematography, Score, and Sound.
Surprised
No wins, though. No wins. They were-
no costume or makeup though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that movie's fantastic. And it stands out as the #1 Revolutionary War based film of all time.
Oh, for sure. I couldn't agree more with that.
There isn't. If you
There's
look
not
at,
a
there's
lot.
not a lot of Revolutionary War
Right.
movies.
Yeah.
And that it's really tough. Can you even name like 4 minus the straight to TV movies? You know,
The Gods and Generals series. What was the one before that, though?
I'm sure there's one called 1776. There's the one with Jeff Daniels.
That's the one. Gods and Generals is the second one to that one, but I forget what the name of that movie is.
Yeah, it was like I don't know.
I remember that
It was the fording of the
Yeah, but it was like a 3.5-hour movie, so I didn't want to watch it.
yeah. 49. I went with the Goonies. All right.
Yeah.
Insatiable appetite for adventure, friendship, and treasure hunting can be fixed with this film. Spielberg produced, Donner directed, 1980s film that gets the young person out of everyone that watches it. This movie is not only a cult classic, but it's an American classic that helps the 80s boast the record for one of the best decades of film in American film history.
Richard Donner. He is underrated as a director. He made so many great movies back in the 80s and 70s.
I heard that the reins kind of went over to Spielberg quite a bit during this movie.
Yeah.
But
you could
still,
tell. You could tell for sure.
The Goonies is...
Come on, Damon. Goonies never say die, dude.
For an example, just yesterday, my 45-year-old uncle was quoting the movie with me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that relevant.
I think that is the movie of the last generation.
Oh,
I don't
sure.
think there's any question.
Oh, for sure. It's
Like-
one.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
That is the 80s movie. I don't think there's any question.
Okay, shoot. I did one of these wrong.
That's
I
okay.
I mixed them up. Okay. So, 48, I'm going with Howl's Moving Castle. All right.
Yeah.
This film takes me beyond creativity and imagination. Just such a wild range of beautiful creatures and story arcs that make this Miyazaki film one of the most beloved animated films of all time. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. But there are all these movies that this guy creates takes you outside of what's possible. It's a shame that when something like that comes out around here, we usually hate on it for whatever reason it is. So it's this stigma that Japanese movies have sort of this past, and then anything else,
Or
can't
even,
do it.
I know it's American dub too, but like even movies with subtitles in general, most people would just say, "Oh, I don't want to read my movie," but you really, you know what I mean?
You read it, you get a lot more out of it. I did it with Interstellar. I watch captions on every single movie I watch, so
Definitely.
you get a lot out of it. Okay, 47 is Drive.
Yeah.
Nicholas Winding, I don't even know how to say this dude's last
No,
name.
I know.
Nicholas Winding Refn.
He does such stunning work with his team in this chase drama thriller. Just thinking about the strong character performances by Albert Brooks, Ryan Gosling, Oscar Isaac gets my adrenaline pumping. Specifically, I love the way the camera and editing work show us how comfortable the driver is, and that's his name in the movie. It's just Driver.
Yep.
How comfortable he is behind the wheel, but how socially awkward he is outside of it. Drive is truly an underrated film, in my opinion, and one of the best in recent years. All right, so 46, this is where I mixed them up. All right, 46 is Castaway. All right, one man, little dialogue, beautiful landscape, fantastic score by Alan Silvestri, an emotional scene with a volleyball. Themes of time and loss so deep that I never stopped thinking about it in this Robert Zemeckis film. Tom Hanks is truly brilliant to watch, and the transformation of him throughout makes this clip my top 50. It was very kind of on the edge, but when you think of one scene that's so hard to watch, and why it's hard to watch is it's insane that you could feel emotional over a volleyball.
Yeah, really.
But 45 is on the list because I feel like this most recent Oscars was sort of, I don't know.
Stop at 45.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
45 is next round.
Yeah. But that's okay. I forgot to say one of mine, so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I did. I looked at my list. I'm
on a roll.
like, what? Did I not mention that? I skipped my 48. Scream.
All right.
Wes Craven's
Yeah,
Scream.
you definitely did not say
Yeah,
Scream.
because I was like, because you mentioned Scream, and I'm like, I'm pretty confident that's supposed to be on my list. Did I not say it yet? So yeah, sorry, I forgot Scream. But I mean, I know.
Speaking of writers, Kevin Williamson is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
That movie, any movie that has sort of that movie within the movie kind of thing, it's just one way trip to my heart, man.
Right.
I just love it. I love that.
Plus, it's almost in some ways satiring the horror genre, the slasher film genre,
Right.
in general, and
Well, something that Craven helped create.
yeah, exactly, something that Wes Craven created. Was one of the first people to create this genre, and yeah, I mean, you just got to give him credit for rejuvenating that genre in general in the late 90s.
But the fact that Williamson got a fourth movie and wrote it, is insane, and made it watchable.
I didn't mind the fourth one. I mean,
I enjoyed it.
I don't mind it, but it's so it's so overused. It's so strung out. It's can't. How much can you do with it? But you give him props for saying. I mean, basically to me in this movie is saying, I have no other ideas. Well, here we go. Here you go.
And the second one, did he write all 4 of them?
No, he did. Okay. He skipped one of them. I think the one where they're on the movie set, he didn't do.
Really? Because I did
3.
I thought
that's
he did
3. That's 3. Okay.
I did the 1, 2, and 4.
The second one wasn't nearly that bad, honestly, for something that was, you really don't think the killers die at the end of the first movie. What necessarily could bring this on? I mean,
and I like how he ties in the killers as not just random people, but they tie into the killers before them. I mean, Definitely. It gets a little. It stretches a little in the third one.
For sure. For sure.
Oh, I'm your brother. Why would you want to kill your sister, man?
Is he part of the TV series now of that? You know that they're
doing a TV
series?
It got a second season.
It did it already?
Yeah, it already got a second season.
Did you see what they did to the mask though?
I don't like the mask.
They completely revamped the mask. Well, it has no. It doesn't look. The only thing that looks like Scream related is the cloak and the name. The mask is totally unidentifiable. So how are we gonna jump this?
Hold on. Did you watch the movie Nicholas Winding Refn did after Drive?
Only God Forgives?
Yeah.
I heard really bad things about it.
It was atrocious. There was no story. It was just fucking.
I've heard back and forth about it.
I heard that it looks really nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, the story was
ridiculous.
And Gosling's acting was horrible. Was just bland.
He was just there.
Yeah, he was just there. That's what I heard. So should we jump back over and kind of just do the last 5 of everybody's now?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
Because I started first round.
Let's do that.
All right. So
45 to 41.
2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty. So we got some marks near it. Now this is I don't know if anybody else will have this. This is an emotional connection movie. Mm-hmm. Older animated movie. Number 45, Fox and the Hound. Have you ever seen it? Really stuck with me my whole life. It's one of those movies when you're a kid that you watch so many times that you can hear the movie rooms away and know which movie it is just by certain sounds. Yep. Number 44, to go along with Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. Love Hot Fuzz. Probably one of my favorite comedies. I think it's one of the only ones on my list. Number 43, because the series itself is so good, but I chose to do a pure list. Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. So that's there. Number 42 was changed due to the person sitting on my right. I, about 2 days ago, watched the movie The Warriors and loved it so much, I bumped it into my list at number 42.
Wow. After one?
Yes. I loved it that much. And number 41, a movie that is just pure fun, 300. That movie's a lot of fun to watch. That's rounds out the first of my top 10.
I didn't mind that one.
No, I mean it changed like the landscape of action movies nowadays. Now every movie incorporates slow motion action scenes in them. You know what I mean?
I went and saw that movie I think twice in the theaters. It blew me away.
Oh yeah, it was really just so. It was just. I mean, and the style of the film was something we've never seen up until that point either. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like a green screen. He used green screen for really, in all intents and purposes, something he didn't really need to use it for. But to translate that graphic novel feel of the movie, I think it was necessary and it really stood out. So cool. That's yours, huh?
Good stuff.
My turn. All right. Starting off with 45. It was a hard pick out of this guy's films. P.T. Anderson. I really love P.T. Anderson films, but this is the one that I had to pick and put in my list, and that's Magnolia. Has everybody seen that one? Okay.
No.
Nope.
There's so many themes in this movie, and he deals with so much in such a well-rounded way that it's almost breathtaking when you. I mean, it might take a couple viewings on this movie because there's very subtle themes to the movie. Again, coming back to identity, the pursuit of happiness for these characters that have, really lived these lives that are very, they don't really have a lot of happiness to their lives, and that's essentially the pursuit in this movie. This is a compilation movie of a bunch of different characters, you know, and their stories are separate but intertwine eventually. A very religious undertone to the movie, especially in Exodus from the Bible, and that's where the very obscure, weird ending. Most people would say, "What the hell is this?" I'm not gonna ruin it for you guys because it's gonna come out of nowhere. But after extended views, you definitely see why that is used in this movie. You have to see it. I really don't want to ruin it for
I'm
you.
still hung up on Exodus.
Exodus, sorry. You know what I meant.
Exodus. I was like, shit, I haven't read the Bible.
You said that, and I'm like, wait, what?
I don't know read the Bible. That's probably why I didn't know. Okay, jumping to my next one. Actually, my only Christopher Nolan movie on this list.
What?
And I might get some slack from this gentleman over here. Interstellar. I thought you weren't all about that movie.
I just thought
it was loud. I know you.
It was loud, yeah. I mean, I had to watch it again, which I enjoyed it better the second time because I actually knew what he was saying.
Yeah, no, he said that too. And actually, the because I looked into this because he mentioned it because I told him to watch it the other day. And he's like, God, this movie is stupid loud. I have to turn it down so much. It was an intentional thing because the score and the sound of that movie was supposed to be, and I think it captured its own character on its own right. It really was intended to mask some of the dialogue in certain instances to project, to kind of display this in some moments, like this, what's the word I'm trying to think of, like you don't know what's happening for the characters don't know exactly what's happening, and that's why it's so intense. Plus the theories, the whole exploration part of the movie, it hits me with how I love my space dramas, and the whole idea of fourth and fifth dimensions and how they portrayed it in the movie is and there's a lot of crazy theories out there about the ending too that I was reading up on, and like everyone's seen it, right?
Yeah.
Like the potential that everything happening after Cooper falling into the black hole was actually his dying dream because of what Matt Damon said beforehand in the movie, where before everybody dies, they see their child and remember he was trying to kill him, and that's like, I guess it's a pretty big theory and it's pretty backed. So I don't know. It's just I've never felt the way I have felt in recent times for a movie like I felt at the end of that movie the second time, not the first time because I was confused the first time.
So it's sort of a 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Exactly, but I've
this
never
generation.
Yeah, exactly, but I've never seen that movie, so
No.
you know what I mean. Like I've talked to my grandmother, loves that movie to know that's her favorite movie of all time, and I've talked to her about movies like that and or that movie more specifically, and how she expresses it. Yeah, I guess I could express this movie being the same way. It just all these ideas that it gives you and makes you think about it really just wow. The concepts are just so huge. But I'll shut up and start going. 40 what?
I will say one thing. I understand like the intense score, but they don't need to blow out the freaking speakers on my TV when I'm at level 20. Like when my volume's at
Someone's on here
20,
right now. Shit, I know what you're talking about.
when I'm at 20 on my TV, you don't need to blow my speakers out with how loud they made their score.
Okay, I feel like it might have been different. Did you see it in the theaters?
Yeah.
When
That's
I
why
saw
I didn't.
Like the
I was
theaters.
pissed.
when I saw it in the theaters, I mean, you felt it. Like that's how loud it was. You felt it.
I get it, but I feel like if they wanted, I feel like you get cheated. All right, they wanted to put dialogue in there, but they wanted to blow your ears out too. And so what they do? Well, we'll just put the dialogue in. People hear it. They hear it, which nobody freaking heard it. And to me, it's just sort of a cheap way out. I thought it was just way too loud.
No, and that's understandable. But
I enjoyed it the second. I enjoyed it a lot better. I didn't dislike it, but
right. Okay.
My big thing was we were arguing about the emotional ties in Interstellar versus American Sniper.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that I dislike the movie.
Okay, I get it.
That's your only Christopher Nolan.
That is my only
That is
Christopher Nolan
surprising.
movie.
I mean,
That's the one you like the most of all of his movies.
That is the one I like the most out of all of his movies.
there are quite a few other movies that I
have
thought
two of his
might
movies
be
in my top 10.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm not even saying that in a bad way. That's.
So we know the other 8 are Scorsese, right?
Okay, here, let me move along.
I'm the only one.
43, my first Martin Scorsese film. The Departed. I thought, obviously, he earned this Oscar. I think there's movies, obviously, you'll find out later in my list, that were more deserving. But this movie really, again, touches on identity, but in a different way. And in more of a, you grow up with the identity that you're raised with, you know what I mean? I mean, especially where in Matt Damon's characters, he's raised on the other side of the law, but is used as essentially a rat, and that's another trust issues and overall the overarching feel of trust in this movie is well done, very very well done. Another theme would be father-son theme between Billy would be Leonardo DiCaprio's character and what is his name?
Jack Nicholson?
Yeah, no, Jack Nicholson's character though. Frank Costello. There it is. Costello's character, and then so on the other side of that too, him and Matt Damon's. Yeah. I mean, it really displays that kind of desire for a specific type of father figure, and I think that's pretty cool. Plus, you can't go wrong with Scorsese films in general. I don't remember the last time I've been disappointed by one of his movies.
Shutter Island.
I didn't think that was a horrible movie. I wasn't disappointed by it.
I would say
for sure.
That. Shutter Island.
I like the movie. It's just,
it would I guess definitely if you're putting it on a Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, it's towards the bottom of the Scorsese list.
That's fair. I'll keep trucking along here. I'm gonna second what Blake just said with Hot Fuzz. I'm a big Edgar Wright fan. I just think the way he satires specific, especially in his Three Cornetto trilogy, which is what these are. This is essentially the second one in his trilogy, even though they have nothing to do with each other.
Nope.
They're essentially just satires on movie. And the way he does it, the way he uses his edits, and the way he films specific scenes, and his pacing. His pacing is one of my favorite things he does in general.
Edgar Wright edits the movies too.
Yeah, pretty confident he edits the movies as well.
I would say, if I second that, the sequencing of the action shots, whether it's putting your car into gear and going, or
it's subtle things, you know what I mean? His slamming his plant on the table, it's great. It's trying to make fun, but give that Edgar Wright spin on this genre, and I think especially in Hot Fuzz, and this is one I was kind of I'm like, do I need 2 Edgar Wright movies on my list? Because Shaun of the Dead's later. But how much fun I get out of this movie, enjoyment.
I've seen it kind of be a dozen times.
Oh,
if it's on TV, I'll watch it.
You gotta stop and watch it.
It's just so much fun.
All right, my 41, my last one of this episode would be Ghostbusters. Why did it fall so low, Trace? Why did it fall so low? You have it tattooed on your arm. There's so many movies.
Nobody.
No, I was talking to Taylor early before this, a while before this, and he's like, "Did every movie on your arm make it?" I'm like, "Actually, no. There's technically 2 movies that didn't make it on my arm."
How do you tattoo some movies? Like you just mentioned The Departed. You just get like a Leonardo.
Exactly. There's movies that you can't. I can't translate.
You just get
this theme.
The title. Isn't there like a gun in it or something?
Yeah. But like I already had this going on, this city theme going on, and I'm like, dude, I wanted it to feel like an epic 80s movie poster.
You could have put Leo right there on one of the buildings.
Like right when you get shot in the elevator?
You could have had Martin,
you could have put
Martin Sheen dying.
Yeah.
Which was terrible.
Falling.
Oh, when he falls, that's a sickening thing.
There's blood.
The blood.
There's
the blood.
body.
The blood just flat. Yeah, that's definitely fun. But yeah, Ghostbusters. Obviously, I grew up with this movie. It's just a lot of fun. Ivan Reitman directed, and it was written by Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. Thank you. And it was just fun. I mean, what?
Keep going.
He was just making comments, but yeah. I mean, essentially, this one is a childhood movie of mine that it's one of those movies you can keep watching and just have the most fun. And it's one of the few comedies I actually have on my list too. So
They're tough to put in the top
Yeah.
50.
No wonder
They
it's
are.
so that's my list. Let's throw it back to you, Damon.
All right.
Citizen
I'm like the
Kane's
only one who
coming.
has like a solid amount of comedies on their list.
I mean, I have some. It's just not straight
They
comedies
don't
ever.
make you, I
It's
don't
never
think
straight.
comedies connect the same way most dramas, thrillers do.
Yeah,
Depends on the comedy.
They do.
it really does.
Okay, so my 45 is my favorite of the Judd Apatow movies, which is 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Ah, I don't agree with that.
That's
I'll
fine.
let you continue talking.
You just Kanye me, damn it.
I'll let you finish.
44. My 44 is the Star Trek 2009 version. The-
Oh wow,
wow.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Dude, I don't have any J.J.
43,
Abrams. movies.
Cabin in the Woods.
Nice.
42 is relatively new. It's Snowpiercer.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
He called that one.
I think he told me it was.
Oh,
gonna be
okay.
on there.
I probably did. I didn't like keep my list close to my chest or anything.
What a trace.
Yeah.
Kept it in a lockbox.
Traces. Was it in a lockbox?
No, it wasn't a lot.
He was like, he literally told us he was not going to tell anyone any movies that were on his list.
I would tell him, but I wouldn't tell you what number they are or anything.
41 is also relatively new. It's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
You know, I had that in my top 50, and I wanted to push it, keep it in there. It's such a good movie. It really
is.
is.
Wait,
I'm
what is
surprised.
Dawn?
Dawn's
Second
the
one.
one that came out this last.
It's the
Okay.
second one, and I'm actually surprised with that being in your list. But I'm not disappointed.
Oh, it
by
was.
I
It was
really-
all the blockbusters that came out. I mean, and I generally tend to go more towards indie films, but of all the blockbusters that came out the year that came out, I think that was the best one.
would
And that's
disagree. I
including
couldn't
like
disagree.
what else came out? Captain America: Winter Soldier, and what else came out that year?
It was
X-Men.
overshadowed by a lot of comic book movies.
Yeah,
and
I
big
thought that
blockbusters.
was I thought that was hands.
It's
down
just that
better than all of
the
them.
first 10-15 minutes opening scene of the monkeys interacting and how they did that.
Apes.
So fantastic.
The apes, sorry, apes. Yep. And how they portrayed that. I could have watched a whole movie on that alone, and that's rare because
Yeah.
That's a hard feat to do, especially when you can't translate all the side
And
dialogue.
it's
But still.
literally, yeah, it's all CGI.
And then, like-
it's done so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
When you can CGI a chimp riding a horse through fire
Monkey.
with
Or ape, sorry.
no, a chimp is an ape. Okay. You CGI a chimp riding a horse through flames with two, machine guns, one in each arm, and that movie makes money and is considered good. You've done something right.
Yeah,
You
that's
really have.
Cool. That's it. All right. T-Wiz.
Ooh.
Damn, you
So-
feet reek.
I know.
Yeah, they
It's
do.
just,
It's pretty bad.
it's genetic.
It's like freaking Cheetos over here.
Oh,
They
boy.
drink like Cheetos. Dude.
It has nothing to do with the movie.
No, it has everything to do
You
with
want to
the
switch
list.
spots?
I am more than comfy over here.
We've got this couch hug thing going on, man. We
A bunch of
Christian side hug.
Christian side hugs all day.
Yeah,
every
we
day.
tried
Just
that.
move. Let's go.
There was no chemistry.
Alright. So, my number 45 is probably the newest movie I have on this list, which is Ex Machina. I love this movie. I've watched it now twice, and just the acting overall in it, I found just so well done that I can't not enjoy it. And various visuals, like I loved how they did her as the android, everything like that. I just thought it all looked good, the story was well done, everything like that. So that's my number 45. My number 44 is Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. The biggest thing that pushes this movie over the edge for me versus the other ones is Helm's Deep. If there's a battle scene in The Lord of the Rings that is the best battle scene there is, it's Helm's Deep.
Agreed.
That is the best one overall.
Me too.
What
I think the best of the Lord of the Rings movies is the first one.
But we were talking battle
Battle.
scene.
Battle.
Battle
I think
scenes.
it's the end battle of
The
the
first
first
one.
one.
Yeah.
Why?
In the woods?
Yeah.
in the
With
woods?
Boromir,
Yeah.
especially with Boromir taking the arrows and still fighting, it was an epic scene.
Yeah.
It was, but you have bring him down Legolas, and that's almost better. It really is.
It is,
I scream.
like that
Like-
scene is so incredibly like just like CGI.
It doesn't matter.
The
It's
first one,
epic. You
wasn't-
can't deny that it is
It's
epic in
Yeah,
every.
it's-
Especially
epic
for a
scene
guy
of
who
it.
you love practical effects so
Well, I love
much, and
practical
The first one
effects,
was
yeah.
like
But like,
incredible. I don't.
look, Gandalf saving them on was
Was
it the
cheesy
fifth day
as-
is
Yeah.
so good because Carl Urban's there to save the day
Oh,
too.
shut
So
Yeah, Carl Urban gets a pass.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that. You know what's funny? I'll read your next one.
Alright. So my number 43 is my first Nolan on this list is The Dark Knight Rises. Look, personally, this is my favorite out of that trilogy. I love Bane, and I think he's a great character. I thought Tom Hardy did an amazing job. And this has the best set of practical effects versus the other two in the series. Just alone on the plane drop, which is one of my favorite practical effects of all time, and Nolan taking it and actually just literally dropping a plane out of the sky was amazing. So, for me, Dark Knight Rises is my number 43 and my best out of that trilogy. My number 42, which I believe is in the exact same slot as you.
It is, and we
Is-
both have Lord of the Rings, so we have to do a little of this.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
My number 42 is The Warriors, which I had.
Yeah, I've converted 2 of them.
Well,
It's really
I had
good.
initially forgot about it, and then I was
Yeah.
looking through my movies again, because the Warriors like side case thing, the spine on it is so hard to see their name.
Really?
Because it's dark and it's a dark red color, so
And it's
I always
graffitied, so.
yeah, I always look over it when I'm looking through my movies. But when I rewatched it, I literally rewatched it last night. It's
Dibs.
it's so well done overall, and I think one of my favorite things about it is the cut and how it keeps everything flowing throughout it. Like, it doesn't stop for an instant. Like, the cuts don't bring you to a slow part of the movie or anything like that. It just cuts into, essentially, like, because they do a lot of the, like, classic wipe.
Yeah.
The slides.
Yeah. It kept everything flowing, and like as it's wiping them off frame, they're coming into a new one here. So I just really enjoy how it's done, and even like the lighting of it and everything like that, how well it looks, like everything. So
Interesting side note. I do not believe there was a bra in that movie.
nope, there was not. There was not. And young James Remar was great as
Great line.
Ajax.
Great line in the baseball fight.
Yeah, against the baseball Furies, would take that bat and
Shove it up your ass, and make you a popsicle.
Yep.
It's so good.
That is such a good
Well,
line from that movie.
What does the jerk guy always say?
That's him.
Are you going?
What are you going faggot on me?
You going faggot on me? Yeah.
Or he'll just be sitting there like, you wimp.
Yeah, he calls them all wimps.
Yeah, like, why are we running away?
Fucking wimp.
They're wimps.
They're
Nice
wimp. He tries to rape everything with legs too.
Yeah, he does. My God.
They're yeah, it's ridiculous.
So my number 41 is 7 Pounds with Will Smith, and
Big Willie style.
yeah,
Interesting.
the emotion
Can't
that I
hold
felt near the at the end of that movie, just like the pure emotion, just punching me in the heart with Will. Spoiler,
If
dying.
only you had it burnt up all your Kleenex on Black Swan.
No, like, it's just the
I was
story.
You're not crying during like, oh.
The story really hit me. I thought Will Smith did a good job in there, along with Rosario Dawson and the small part of Woody Harrelson in there too.
Blind.
Blind Woody Harrelson,
The best
who
kind.
now gets Will Smith's eyes. So
Beautiful eyes.
yeah, that's my 45 through 41.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Name me. Icebox.
All right, man. I got another
Wasn't
disclaimer.
Damon.
So Damon went.
I know.
He was after me.
Damon went?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was just a
Oh,
quick
yeah,
one.
yeah.
All right, 45 is
Your old version.
a movie I kind of felt should have won last year's Best Picture, Grand Budapest Hotel. Wes Anderson's beautiful, satirical, colorful comedy that is such a fun ride. Budapest works with the camera, keeps his film upbeat and well paced. One of my favorites of all time of his.
Yes.
44, Stand By Me.
Oh, that's another good 80s movie. 90s.
I jostled this film and The Princess Bride around quite a bit. I love most of Rob Reiner's work, and Stand By Me defines his legacy inside my head. So, such a great buddy film, coming of age, adventure, whatever you want to call it. The best part, you get to see a young River Phoenix in his prime, cut short,
Mm-hmm.
pretty young, awesome actor.
He was.
It's been with me since I was in elementary school, and it's never sort of gone away. But this will be the first time, I think, bravo for introducing me to one of my favorite, a timeless classic in my head. So, Stand By Me. 43, Lost in Translation. Sofia Coppola directs this depressing love story with such great poise. I envy her throughout this entire film, because Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, they just explode on screen. It's depressing. It's fun.
It's like you're in the
It's
ride
Japan.
with them.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So 42 is the Graduate. The late great Mike Nichols helped create a film that created one of the biggest American icons in Mrs. Robinson. This film's spectacular and has Simon and Garfunkel's excellent songs to mesh with the zany plot that unfolds on screen. Now, this is the stick one right into Trace's lower half. Train Spotting.
Oh!
Scary glimpse into the underworld that is drug addiction. The cast of characters transcends the setting and the lingo into a sometimes comedy, sometimes horror-filled drama. Exceptional work from Danny Boyle and company. I sort of feel like it's a little bit more of a realistic feel to drug addiction, based on all the relapses, what happens in the baby seats.
Oh,
terrifying.
That's the thing that made me just so upset with those.
And there's something about these movies with all these accents that I love, and go back to the guy from the Full Monty. He's so good. He's in 28 Weeks Later, I think, too. He's awesome. But yeah, I feel like it's a little bit more realistic than SLC Punk, which I do own and I do enjoy. But
I mean, the only thing is that SLC Punk isn't solely about the drug addictions and stuff like that. I mean, there's more overarching story there about the subculture that they drop you in, sitting in a city like Salt Lake City. You know what I mean? Where this is not
very Mormon city.
Yeah, it's not a city. It's not a city where these guys are meant to be. You know what I mean? Like so.
Right. I thought realistically, there's death, there's sorrow, and it doesn't just evaporate because this kid has a second way out. Most of these people have. I mean, I think Ewan McGregor's character, he does have parents who do care for him, but all his other friends and everything are sort of left alone. And one of them, two of them, I guess, with a baby, they'd rather take drugs instead of take care of the kid. So. Yeah.
I mean, and it's a movie I only watched once, and I think my emotions about that baby scene really just dictated how I felt about the rest of the movie in general. So it's something I give. I mean, because I really do love Danny Boyle's work in general. So it's a movie I'd give a second chance. It's just a tough topic for me to indulge myself in for a movie. Is all. That's why I don't like it as much. But I think that's it for top 10s. Now are we gonna do the movie fights?
Interesting thing.
50. You guys cool with 50?
Sure.
50 is cool.
50
Alright,
now we'll so much better. I hate buying Harry Potter movie.
Now we'll pick.
Who's judging?
There's 4 fighters and 1 judge. Now the judge can make up a question on the spot. So for an example, it could be number 50 is the movie we chose. Pitch in 30 seconds what your film is about. Person who does that best, according to the judge, wins.
Cool.
It's a point, they win the movie fight, essentially. All right, so now you can ask anything. I wasn't saying you have to do that specifically, but you can do whatever. Why is yours better than everybody else's, or why is what's the worst scene in your movie? I don't know. But
don't
if
know.
you're the judge, you can't pick the winner based on their movie. So say someone has Scream and I'm the judge and I love Scream better than any of the other movies. I'm not just gonna pick Scream because it's my
Unbiased.
favorite. Unbiased.
Unbiased.
Yes. All right, who's going first?
Oh.
New guy.
If you get judged, just let us know so we can know what to open these things.
I actually did get judged.
Did you?
I got fired.
Oh.
I'm the law.
All right. So
What was your 50?
It was
That's
Harry
what
Potter.
Oh,
I don't want to
okay.
argue Harry Potter anyways because it'll hurt my childhood too much.
Dude,
All right.
I have to argue black.
Okay.
Dynamite.
Here's a pen if you want to write down your question and like write notes or something. I don't know. It's up to you.
yeah, that's what that guy. That's what that guy does.
what is every?
Mine
what
is
top
The
50?
Breakfast Club.
The Patriot.
Gangs of New York.
And Black Dynamite.
And I was supposed to form a question.
You form a question. It doesn't
Wait,
matter.
I
Anything
got
that
it.
relates that
Yeah.
all these movies can relate
I've got
to.
it.
So-
Which one has the most black people in it?
No.
Okay,
What's
well,
that word?
Taylor gets the clear win.
Ooh. Which one has the most N-words in it? Because mine has a lot.
Really?
but mine is
Is it the N-word in that movie?
Yeah, like every other word, or every other fucking slur Daniel Day-Lewis uses is Irish niggers.
Dude, mine's sort of historical.
No, okay, so it's not historical at all. And neither Breakfast Club is kind of historical.
Not really.
Historical
In a
in the fact
movie,
that
in a
it's
movie
It's
aspect.
older.
Dude, Black Dynamite's
yeah.
pretty historical.
Whatever.
Like,
I want to do just a cheese question here.
dude, mine has
I mean,
Richard
something that we
Nixon
can
in it.
project to you in 30 seconds to a minute, you know.
Why is my purple pen?
Because it's
It's
a
not yours.
lovely pen question.
The fuck it isn't.
It was
else-
upstairs in my bedroom under
Who
a
else
ton of
uses
clothes.
Purple pens.
Kaylin uses purple pens.
Bullshit.
Unless
Alright.
you were in my bedroom and you used a pen up there, I don't think it's
Yeah,
yours.
God forbid you stole a pen from me.
All right, you got your
always
question?
I do have my question.
All right.
Most iconic moment not featuring dialogue immediately. And what I mean by that, it isn't a line, it's an action,
Okay.
a movement, something like that. It,
Oh,
can, be
oh.
it can be an
I
entire
got it.
scene. I know what yours is going
Yeah.
to be.
I got it.
I know
Dude,
it.
I know what mine's got.
So, an action, a movement, a scene, dialogue can be used, but not as to convey communication, but screams, yells, I'll kill you, things like that. So
Like,
those are all-
screams are cool.
Screams are cool.
Okay.
All right. Do we want to round table it? We can start to my right. and
Well,
work
you can.
left.
Why don't you choose whoever goes first? Now, are we timed here?
Yeah.
I don't know. We can do a 30-second.
Wait, just are we talking like one scene?
One specific scene, yes.
A scene.
Difficult.
Best scene done through.
Might have a hot chance
through
here.
action.
So, how
Wait.
long were you giving us?
I got a phone. You can use my
We
phone.
can-
I gotta
we-
stop
can,
watching
I
the
can,
Oh, he's got
I
it.
can just run it off that too.
Do the stopwatch. You got
Alright.
a cool noise? You got a cool noise it makes?
No, I'll just watch
go
for it.
like-
And someone will have to watch it while I'm going. So,
Okay.
is there a specific order you want us to go in?
Yeah, Blake, you dictate. You're judge.
Oh, who wants to go first? Who sucks the most? We got two at Damon. So
I just pointing my finger in that direction because everybody's going that way.
All right.
David starts in the corner where he belongs.
When you're ready, you tell me when, Damon. You have 30 seconds.
Give me a second.
You can't look up the movie and watch it on
I'm
Netflix.
looking up
That's a long
God,
movie.
if Gangs of New York were on Netflix, that'd be dope.
It was on. I watched it on there.
Oh, I don't think it is.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, sure, why not? So the
Right.
most iconic part.
Most iconic scene.
Non-dialogue.
There can be scream shouts, but it has to be non-dialogue action.
Okay, tell me when you're ready.
I'm good.
Go.
I think probably the most iconic part in the whole movie was the end battle. They get their two gangs together, Leo DiCaprio's gang
DiCaprio.
versus Daniel Day-Lewis's gang, and then they start fighting, and at the same time, the entire city is getting attacked by like the army.
There's voiceover.
They're a little bit, but they're
I'll allow it.
they're getting shot at by fucking. Oh, sorry. They're getting
Time
shot
it
at.
up.
Finish your sentence. This is
They're-
league work.
They're getting shot at by ships with cannons, and everything's going to hell.
They're getting shot at by fucking.
You think this is not?
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, it sucks.
Who's
All
going
right.
next?
Joe, which way are you going with this, Blake?
What? we'll go to you, Scott.
You want to hold? You want to push it for me, somebody?
Push it.
Push it
30
real
seconds?
good.
30 seconds. Will you show it to me though? I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Shut up, everyone. God.
Push.
Begin.
Go.
All right, go. So the best part in the Patriot where there's no dialogue spoken is when you have a Heath Ledger riding towards an encampment of the Redcoats. The main villains there, Jason Isaacs. They have a battle. No words are spoken. There's an awesome scene with the Reverend getting shot, throwing his gun. Heath Ledger shoots the main villain, which you think is dead. He goes to finish the job with a knife. He turns, gets stabbed in the stomach. You have this juxtaposition, these cuts from Jason Isaacs' face to Heath Ledger's face.
I went way over. You had me. I was like, oh god, this is so good, and then I was like, oh shit.
Shit! I didn't even get to the best part.
Sure, well, Damon got to sort of finish.
Yeah, but I was 8 seconds over, so.
Yeah.
You got
Oh.
8 seconds.
All right.
Who's next?
I
Trace?
guess that is it. Yeah, let's go.
It's me.
Trace Patchen Jr.
Trace Patchen Jr. Why am I
Funny
Jr.?
story.
Shut up, you're a junior.
Heath Ledger did die.
He died on set. Put that down. It's a joke. He didn't.
Well, that's
All right.
after the timer.
By Draco Malfoy.
I'm ready.
And begin.
Okay, obviously everybody knows what scene I'm going to pick. It's the end scene, Bender raising his hand in victory for the day because he achieved something finally. In comparison to every single one of your movies, because I already know, I actually don't know what Taylor's going to pick, but it is more synonymous to the movie in a whole than anything you guys can pick. I know that scene is great, but remembering that movie, more people remember that end scene of his hand being raised and the music cutting in than anything else.
Alrighty.
Not even the dancing
So
scene?
so now that he rebutted on movie fights, everyone's given a rebuttal too.
Yeah.
So he already used his rebuttal. He didn't even know what Taylor was gonna say.
How did I use my rebuttal?
You said it
ours.
from all of ours.
I'm just saying, that's
All
what
right, fine.
I'm fighting you
Well,
guys.
he's the judge. I don't know what I'm saying. You're the judge.
I wasn't aware we were having rebuttals.
We do get it.
You
Well,
can
that's
say whatever you want.
okay. Thank you.
It's my judge. I'll pick
Can I
it.
do this for 30
I'm
seconds?
flipping a
Trace
four-sided
says?
coin to decide who wins.
Whenever
I'm
you're
not
ready.
looking at your notes,
God.
buddy.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm
Yeah, you can't
so
remove
glad
it.
that I have
Okay.
Black Dynamite. You ready, Blake?
Alright, I'm
I'm
not
ready.
gonna shout begin like Mortal Kombat, so just go.
Alright. So, best scene without words in here is during the end Black Dynamite Richard Nixon fight. There is a scene in there where Black Dynamite pimp slaps the first lady and she goes slow fly back into the china cabinet with this, like, I understand there's no words, but you said screams are loud, but it's this terrible, like, scream, and it's just so amazing and more iconic than anybody else has seen, obviously, because who doesn't remember the first lady pimp slap?
That's not fair. He had something hilarious.
Judge it how you will. It's Blake's the judge. We can't dictate his vote, man.
Make a
Okay, so now we got
sex scene.
rebuttals
Do
now.
you want like a 15-second rebuttal?
Up to the judge.
It's up to the
Yeah,
judge.
yeah.
I'll allow.
15 seconds.
Am I still able to argue this? Do I still get a rebuttal?
No.
Because these jerks, for some reason, think I don't.
What? Would you call that a because
No,
I'm
it was
still
he-
arguing my point.
I didn't even get
You
a
were-
chance
you were
to
the
say that you
judge.
guys
Make your
movie
decision.
sucked, and then you said ours
Yeah, that's
sucked.
true.
Just
I would
Blake
I would
did
agree with Damon because you talked about our movies. I just talked.
You know,
I talked.
nobody
All
else
three of
gave
us
a
talked
choice.
about ours.
I didn't
Yeah,
even get
well,
a chance to talk about your movies.
I don't even have to explain my scene.
Here,
Everybody knows
I'll
it.
give you an ultimatum. Well, if the judge will hear me out,
I'll hear. Let's talk. But it's here.
I will be for Trace getting a rebuttal if we're allowed to.
Not doing it naked.
if we're allowed to do either
Wait,
add
naked?
something for ours or rebuttal. Can we choose?
Well, why don't we just... We could do it in a
Yeah, that's a
slightly
good idea.
different order.
That's a good idea.
Well, that or, like, we could...
I don't see where
If
the
we
slack
did-
is. That's my point is supposed to
No,
portray
I see it on both sides.
If,
Well, whatever.
If we run rebuttals and we make Trace start, so he can't go after anybody else's rebuttal.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
All right, here we go.
Alright, so we're gonna start.
What do we-
with
how much
Trace.
time?
15 seconds.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna rank it already. I'm gonna start with weakest contenders. Trace had a strong argument, but then you were the worst. So, so I got the order already. And
Okay.
because I feel bad for David, I'm gonna give him an extra 5
All
seconds.
right. So he gets 20. Everyone else gets 15.
Yeah.
Stressed he is.
Fucking, like, come on.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, first
You're going
rebuttal.
first?
Yeah, I'm going first.
First rebuttal. Hammer it out.
And go. All right. I mean, we're talking about synonymous scenes in a movie without dialogue. None of their scenes are going to compare to mine. Mine is you can see the end scene from my movie is just a frame, and you know exactly what movie that is from. You can't say that for either of them.
Excellent. I'm to
Damon for
That people
20.
Seen the movie.
Damon with
You
the
ready?
extra 5 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead. No, the most iconic scene in your movie is the dancing scene.
Incorrect.
Don't argue. Go.
Yours is probably when Mel Gibson actually, well, there's talking to him, but I would say when he actually finally kills the bad guy. Your movie's ridiculous. Don't even talk to me. My movie is the best of all of those movies. Boom, got him.
Ooh, and with a second to spare, yeah, nice.
Ooh, look at
Now
that.
who's up?
This is fun. We should do these more often.
Well, no, you're next.
All right. So now we are allowed to add something to our statement and rebuttal, or whatever you can do.
You
in
got 15 seconds. Do what you want to do.
15 seconds consists of jiving and jigging. I will allow.
All right.
Does it count if there's a lot of jive turkeys said in my movie?
Yeah.
No. Ain't nobody called it. I called you a cocksucker.
I'm ready. Go. John Williams' score in the back of that, behind that scene, it makes it even more great. The realization that he actually killed Mel Gibson's son is incredible. Heath Ledger dying, period, is great. And that movie, I don't believe that is the best scene as well. I would go with the salami going onto the statue.
That's good. That's fair.
Nice. Got him. Fucking Trace.
All right, here we go. Whenever you're ready.
And Mr. Taylor, begin.
Okay, so quick thing, Heath Ledger dying, that's way too soon, man. Nobody likes Heath Ledger dying.
It's been like 5 years.
Don't care. Aside from that, the First Lady Pimp Slap is obviously iconic, and you have like classic 60s, 70s music behind it playing the entire
Literally
time.
no one knew that
So
movie
it's so
existed.
good overall.
I think Dan gets deductive points for talking.
Yeah,
I didn't have a
should get
chance to
deductive
win
points.
anyway,
Like, sitting there like...
Place us.
No one even knew that was in that movie.
Okay, so we're ranking it 1
And no one can actually attest to that.
Yeah, but his song had words in it at the end, right?
He said that as
There was a voiceover.
There's a voiceover, but we're talking about the scene itself. Take
The scene had a voiceover.
So do yours.
Yeah,
yours got a voiceover.
So with that, man, we should be the final two.
No, you even said dialogue is
I'm just
fine.
trying to sway
Music-
him. I'm just trying to sway him.
Yeah.
Dude, mine was just a screaming there.
His wasn't iconic. It's just stupid.
I'm sure there was a groan from Heath. Like,
We don't even know if he's telling the truth. He
There's
just
a
made the
whole
entire
scene.
thing
The
up.
whole scene is nothing
I
but John Williams music in the background. It's a
you
great
can't throw
battle.
John Williams' name in here and try to sway his vote.
I did it in my 15 seconds.
I will make opening statements on each
Okay,
one and
okay.
give you guys all a good pro talk.
I don't
about it.
actually care.
So-
You do
Alright,
care,
so
Damon. This is serious business.
Upon creation of question, obviously, after I said it, the first thing that came to my mind was your movie with the iconic fist bump. You can't. That's just in there. He's right.
It is just in there. It's
It's,
just a part of
and
the
he had
movie.
the
It's
easiest
just like
argument. You had the hardest argument, but that doesn't mean you did good.
Well,
I think Taylor had the hardest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taylor's was ridiculous. Of course he got fucking points for it.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so yeah, Taylor did also have I feel like there really wasn't. I scanned through the movie. I don't think there was a lot of scenes you could have used.
No, there really
But I felt it was a wide variety movie. So on to Taylor's. It's a ridiculous movie, start to finish. Your scene is hilarious. I can't deny it. It speaks for itself. I am a big fan of The Patriot. I had to push it out of my top 50. Plug for other shows. And when you mentioned that scene, I thought you were going to go with the tomahawk scene at first, if you recall that scene. And then you swayed me because I was like, oh, you didn't pick the tomahawk scene. I can't believe it. The scene where Ledger dies is great. That being said, I have to rank them And Damon, obviously.
I win, guys.
Just walk out.
You're solid 4. That's it. You're done.
Damon's number 4.
He's voted off the island.
And now you must eat a Cheeto found on the floor someplace.
It's just
One
Eat his
Cheeto
freaking
randomly.
sock, dude. That's what the
and my
Cheetos.
shoes.
Oh.
They probably smell.
All right. Who's the third place?
I didn't want to walk over Trace's
Who's got the
couch
Browns?
with my shoes on.
All right, and due to the fact that Taylor also got screwed, I gotta put Taylor at third. I thought he described the scene very well.
Dude,
So that's gonna leave it.
my
between-
scene's iconic though.
Here we go.
Nobody
Here we
even
go.
knows what that scene is.
Your
real.
movie really puts you at a disadvantage.
I don't know what you're talking
Black
about.
Dynamite is not an iconic movie.
All right, Amy, you ready for this?
Alright.
Who's the winner? That's what you gotta.
And
Go to Taylor
coming
first.
in with the silver medal due to the fact that the question was too easy for you.
Oh!
Trace is number
You
2.
son of a bitch.
Let's go into the Patriots.
George Wilson.
You piece of shit. I don't know.
You know what?
You made me second because my question was the question was tailored for me. Yes.
it was
You didn't back it up
That's
enough.
biased.
No, you went with
I
what?
backed it up enough.
It came
There's
down
so
to
many
this.
iconic parts
They-
of the movie, you can't choose one.
It was so close,
That's why
but
it's
what
so
it
hard
came
to
down
choose
to was
from.
I had a scene
Yeah,
in
that's
mind
why.
for both. You picked the one I thought you were gonna pick, and he didn't. And then that's where it came.
But it almost
Luck.
counteracts you because
Yes.
we're supposed to pick the most memorable. And
Will you
mine
sign
came to
off so I can
mind.
get out of here?
But it's the fact that he picked the scene that I did think was the most memorable, and then swayed me otherwise.
All right.
Now,
All right.
I don't know
Vote
if
for
you
blood next round.
You got a silver.
Next year. Or
Michael
next
Phelps
year.
never
Yeah,
got
next year.
silver.
Yeah.
We'll come back and finish.
All right, cool. That wraps it up for us here at whatever this thing's called. Come in next time for our next 10. We're gonna do 5 episodes, so next 10 coming at you whenever. We'll see you soon.
What about plugs? Tweet us. Did you
Yeah.
click it off?
Yeah, no, there's gonna be things on the bottom. But anyways, tweet
Oh,
us.
alright.
Yeah. Tweet us.
Get at me, yo.
Get at D Money over here if you want to tweet us. What is it?
Real Family Mind.
Real Frame of Mind. Otherwise, Real Frame of Mind's website.
Comments, subscribers. We're up to 7, I think.
Are we up to
Yeah,
7?
we're up to 7
Like and-
subscribers.
I
Like
am
and
unstoppable.
subscribe.
That's
We're
great.
unstoppable. But yeah, like and subscribe.